Namaste to everyone. Today, it's better that we introduce each other. So, I request Smriti to please start introductions so everyone can get to know one another.
Yeah, sure, Swamiji. Hello. Yeah. Jai Ram Krishna to all. I would just call out your names in the same order in which I am able to see on Zoom, and you could just give like a brief introduction. So let's start with Subir Kumarji.
Yes, Swami, namaskar. Pranam.
Namaste, namaste.
Jai Sri Ram Krishna. My name is Subir Kumar Mukherjee. I am very much interested in Brahma Sutra, and this is my second class. And first class was really very wonderful, and I received very much valuable inputs from you in very simplified form. I thought it will be a very esoteric subject, but the lucid manner in which you explained it is really praiseworthy, and a lot of kudos to you. And I expect more such valuable inputs from you in future also. And I also thank all the participants and welcome them in this session. Thanks a lot.
You are from where?
I am from Calcutta, sir.
Okay. So I request everyone to tell their name and their from where, and also what they do or what they were doing, etc. Just an introduction.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Next is Badrinathji.
Yeah, hello. My name is Badrinath, I think. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah.
So I am Badrinath from Telangana. So I am an engineer turned yoga instructor. Currently, I am teaching yoga to the people. My main focus is on mental health. So I would like to learn Brahma Sutras to gain more wisdom and to use the philosophy in my teachings. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Chitraji.
Namaste. I hope I'm loud and clear.
Yes, yes.
Namaste, Swamiji. Well, I am also a certified yoga trainer from Ayush. I used to work for TCS, and that is how I got into this satsangam and community. And while I am not a full-time yoga teacher, I do that out of my passion and being more of a practitioner. I've been wanting to teach kids for full time for Laukika. I work for a bank as a senior executive in Chennai. I'm connecting from Chennai. Namaste, Swamiji. Thank you, everyone.
Next is Birendraji.
Namaste, Swamiji. I am Birendra Singh from Lohagarh district, Champaut, Uttarakhand. Presently, I am working in irrigation department of Uttarakhand as an assistant engineer.
Okay.
I just passed by YCB level 3 exam 2 days before. That's thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Next is Dharaji.
Namaste everyone. Namaste Swamiji.
Namaste.
Myself Dhara Tyagi. I am from Meerut, Uttar Pradesh, and I think we all have been introduced to yoga through TCS and all these certification courses, and that's how I came to know about the text called Brahma Sutra. Otherwise, it won't be possible for me to know about the text, the name, even the name of the text. But yes, this is my second class, and I felt deeply connected with all these teachings. So here I am. Thank you.
Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you. Next is Gayatriji.
Namaste, Swamiji. Namaste to all. I'm Gayatri
I
Shivram from
I
Bangalore.
request all of you to, wherever possible, please switch on your videos.
Hello. Namaste Swamiji. Namaste to all. I'm
Namaste.
Gayatri Shivram from Bangalore. I'm very much interested in these
Okay.
Brahma Sutra classes. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next is Hamsaji. Hamsaji.
You're muted.
Okay, I think she's muted.
Yes.
Okay, I'll just go to the next devotee Swamiji. Next is we'll come back to Hamsaji.
Hamsaji, you have to unmute. Now you can speak. Now speak.
I am Hamsa from Mysore. I was there in the last batch also, and so I wish to continue now also. Thank you very much. Pranam.
Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you,
Namaste.
Hamsaji. Next is Jyotiji.
Swamiji. I'm from Kozhikode, Kerala, where Swamiji is now. And I have been working as a soft skills and communications faculty here at the university, Calicut University. And I'm also a trained yoga teacher. But as some of you mentioned, it's like for a passion, I learned yoga from the Bihar School of Yoga tradition. Thank you, Swamiji.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Next is Kanchanji.
So there are many yoga people here. Huh? Yoga.
Namaste Swamiji. My name is Kanchan Chitkara and I'm from Noida. I also got introduced to these teachings through my level 3 YCB only, which I just cleared. So I've been doing yoga for the past couple of years.
What
but
is
I
this
had
YCB? What is that?
It's a yoga certification board,
Ah.
which in collaboration with TCS
Okay.
conducts these certification courses. So we just cleared the level 3 certification course. In that group only, I got introduced to you. And this is my second class, and I'm very much hopeful that I'll be enjoying your sessions. Thank you, Swamiji.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next is Lakshmi Bhartiji. Lakshmi Bhartiji. Lakshmi ji, can you unmute yourself, please? Okay, maybe we'll come back later, Swamiji.
Yes.
Next is Meenakshi ji.
Namaskar, Swamiji.
Namaste.
I am a teacher by profession, and I like reading the Hindu scriptures, and I am interested in yoga, and I'm associated with Vyasa University. I did YIC from there, and that's it. I want to propagate yoga.
Where are you living?
Sir, I am living in Hyderabad right now.
Hyderabad. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Prema ji. Prema ji, can you unmute yourself, please? Okay, Swamiji, maybe we can come back later.
Okay.
Next is Raghu ji.
Namaste, Maharaj. My name is Dr. Raghu. I'm from Bangalore. I go to Alsura Ashrama, Maharaj. I have met you and spent time with you 2 times there when Vijay Raghavan Maharaj was there. You came to our Yuvaka Sangha classes and you took 2 classes for us. You
Yes,
told
yes.
me that time that we share a common background, that our fathers served in Air Force and we both studied in Kendriya Vidyalaya. You told me that. I have been part of the group last time also. I will continue to listen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next is Rajni ji. Rajni Viji.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
I am Rajni from Pune, Maharashtra. Actually, I studied yoga philosophy in my post-graduation from Vyasa University. I am a yoga enthusiast and I am keen to learn much more about Vedanta and all these philosophies. This is my second class. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Rajshekhar ji, next.
Hey, Namaskaram. This is Rajshekhar from Chennai. And by profession, I'm a software engineer. And also I hold a master degree in yoga. Interested and started learning Sanskrit. Trying to get some best out of from our Vedic or Puranas items. Thank
Where
you.
are you in Chennai?
I'm in near Mahabalipuram ji, Sirseri.
Okay. Right now I am in Chennai. That's why I asked.
Oh, super ji, super.
Next is Ravi Khanna ji.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
I live in Bangalore and I am a student of Vedanta. I've been studying Prakarana Granthas and Bhagavadgita, and this is the starting point for me in Sutra.
Okay. Very good.
Next is Sharma ji.
Swamiji, namaskar.
Namaskar. Namaskar.
So, yeah, my last posting was in Chennai, Swamiji, and I took mantra diksha from Swami. Retired last December. So I visited her place, and then she was talking about your classes. So this is my first class, Swamiji, and I have just now come to my daughter's place in Hyderabad, and I'm connecting from Hyderabad.
Very good. Very good.
Next is Shivram ji.
Namaste, Swamiji. Jai Ram Krishna. I'm Shivram from Bangalore. I'm a retired engineer. Now I am interested in this. At present, I am working as volunteer in Ramakrishna Math, Bangalore. Namaste once again.
Prasanagudi.
Prasanagudi, yes, Swamiji. Yes.
Next is Shubha Mukherjee ji.
Pranam Maharaj, and greetings to my fellow travelers on this path. I'm a journalist. I should say I was a journalist, turned Vedanta student. I used to live and work in Delhi, but since the last 2 years, I've been living in Rishikesh. Thank you so much.
Next is Sinti ji. Sinti ji. Sinti ji, can you please unmute yourself?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah, Pranam Guruji. I am from Kolkata, Barakpur, actually, and by profession, I'm a software engineer working in TCS. Last year, I have completed YCB level 2 in yoga. I got interested in yoga and have practicing regularly. So that's why I'm here to learn more about this thing.
Yes. So your name is pronounced Sithi, no? Sithi.
Shithi, right.
Yes.
Next is Shivakumar Sundareshan ji.
Pranam Maharaj and pranam to all participants. I'm based out of Bangalore, and my profession is I'm heading the engineering department in a software company called Talisman, which is a software product development company. And I've been a participant for this previous Brahma Sutra God formulas, and I'll continue to do this one. The purpose of this to is like for me is to strengthen the mind using this concept so that I can hold this complete thing. So that is the purpose for my doing this. And Maharaj, I met you during this Tilkur Japa Yajna and also in the recently in Basangodi as well. It was nice meeting you.
Same here.
Next is Srinath Subramanian. I think that is Rupaji. Rupaji.
Pranam Maharaj. I'm Rupa from Bangalore. I've been associated with the Baswangudi Ashrama here from many years. About this class, I came to know through Mrs. Gayatri and Smriti. So I was very much interested in learning. So I've joined. This is the first time I'm joining a scripture class like this, and the text is so profound. I'm very, I deem myself very lucky that I'm getting to learn this from you, Maharaj. Pranam.
Next is Uma Srinivasanji.
Maharaj, Namaskaram, Uma Srinivasan. I'm working in an IT company for the last 30 years, and I'm here trying to get an understanding of Indian scriptures to broaden my understanding and framework, and that is what has brought me to this class. Namaskaram.
You're from which place?
I'm currently working in Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Oh, very.
Next is Vaidyaji.
Pranams, Maharaj.
Namaste.
My name is Vaidyanath. I'm from Bangalore. I'm part of the IT industry in Bangalore. And last time when you visited Bangalore, my apologies, I was not in Bangalore, so I couldn't meet you. And I have been, fortunate to have been associated with Ramakrishna Mission from my childhood. Basungudi Ramakrishna Mission. And my father happens to be the student of Vidyarthi Mandiram, Bangalore in the 1950s. So our association and DNA is with Ramakrishna Mission, and I carry the values of Ramakrishna Mission wherever I go. And my ex-boss Murli Baswapatna, he is a devotee of Ramakrishna Mission, and the place where we work, the groups we operate, we have that essence spread across, and the values of Ramakrishna Mission. And I consider myself fortunate that I got an opportunity to learn from you the Brahma Sutra aspects, and I consider myself very fortunate that I got this chance. And whenever I'm having time, I'll definitely come and meet you in Kozhikode.
Very good. Please,
yes.
All of you are welcome to come to Kozhikode.
Yes. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Next is Sureshji, VP Sureshji. Sureshji?
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, Namaste ji. I am VP Suresh, retired from Indian Air Force, and interested to learn Sri Bhashyam as well as Sankara Bhashyam. And I am very lucky to listen to your Brahma Sutras discourses from you. So I am very eager to listen more and learn more.
Sureshji, you might be interested in. Also, there is another one playlist in that channel, YouTube channel, Swami Narasimhananda, where Paduka Sahasram is being explained.
Sure, sir. Yes.
You can see Paduka Sahasram if you type in that channel, you will get.
Yeah, certainly.
You can go through that also.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Swamiji.
So that's it, Swamiji. Just two more. Premaji and Lakshmiji, are you now available to just unmute yourself and give a brief introduction? Lakshmi Bharatiji and Premaji.
And Rajashekharji is over, no?
Yeah. So probably they're not able to unmute themselves, Swamiji. We have covered all other devotees.
Okay, so again, I'll just have a recap. Brahma Sutra, we had covered up to 12 sutras of the first chapter. And all these videos are available on the YouTube channel Swami Narasimhananda Ramakrishna Mission, which link Smriti will again post in the group. And till 12th sutra, you will be able to study there or find there. And also the recommended books also, again, the links will be posted. It is, of course, good to have a book which will help you in studying. But even if you don't have a book, if you closely follow the lectures, that would be sufficient for you to understand the meaning of every word of Bhagavata Shankaracharya's commentary on the Brahma Sutras. So today we will get into the 13th sutra. We will look into the 13th sutra. Now here, before we go into 13th sutra, we have to understand what this 13th sutra is about. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, it is told a very picturesque, very visual representation of ignorance is given in the Taittiriya Upanishad. What kind of ignorance? Ignorance of our true nature. Ignorance of our true nature. What is our true nature? According to Advaita Vedanta, which we would be following because we are following now the commentary of Bhagavadgita Shankaracharya Deva, who propounded Advaita Vedanta. So according to Advaita Vedanta, our true nature is Brahman or Atman, which is of the nature of Sat, eternally existing, Chit, eternally conscious, and Ananda, eternally blissful. Bliss as opposed to happiness, because happiness is followed by or has misery or suffering. So now here the question is, what is the visual representation of ignorance? This ignorance of our true self. All our misery or all our suffering is caused because we don't understand who we are. Even in the worldly plane, misery is caused because of ignorance. Suppose many of you told that you are from the IT industry. Suppose you want to write a code in a particular programming language. If you do not properly know the syntax or the grammar, to put it in other words, grammar of the programming language or the syntax of the programming language, it would be difficult for you to write a code in that programming language. That means it will cause sufficient misery to you because of your lack of knowledge. When it is the case, even in such a worldly scenario or in an empirical, very day-to-day scenario like programming, it will be, of course, the case when it involves our true nature. So that is why ignorance of our true nature causes suffering. Ignorance of our true nature causes suffering, because though I am eternally existing, we are frantically trying to preserve our existence by trying to preserve our body, our prana, our mind, our buddhi, and our Anandamaya Kosha. What is Anandamaya Kosha? The covering which gives you happiness when you attain something you desire. That is called Kosha, here means covering. So this is the visual representation of ignorance in the Taittiriya Upanishad. that a person's true nature is covered by 5 coverings. What are they? As I just now said, one is the gross body, which is called Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya means that which is full of anna or food. So the covering of food, that is Annamaya Kosha. Then comes the covering of prana. What is prana? Prana is roughly translated in into English as vital energy or vital breath. So there are 5 types of Mahaprana, 5 Laghu Prana, Alpa Prana. So all activities in our body, they require some kind of energy, and that energy is prana. Then comes Manomaya Kosha, that is the covering of mind. Mind. So mind means, as we all may be aware, mind, according to Indian philosophy, is different from the gross body. Whereas most Western philosophers or other non-Indian philosophers would call mind a projection of the brain. And brain is in gross body. So according to them, mind also is part of gross body. Whereas in Indian philosophy, so according to them, according to Western philosophy or Western science, most scientists believe that brain controls the mind. Whereas in Indian philosophy, mind controls the brain because mind is subtler than brain. So what is subtler always controls that which is grosser. That which is more gross than something is controlled by subtle. So physics, any of you who are aware of physics or who are interested in physics or who are students of physics will understand that when you go to higher levels of subtlety, when you go to deeper levels of subtlety, those subtle particles control the particles which are less subtler than them. Similarly, here also, the gross body is controlled by the prana. Prana is controlled by mind, like that. So every covering is controlled by the other covering. So here in the Taittiriya Upanishad, first covering is the food covering, Annamaya Kosha. Second covering is the prana covering, Pranamaya Kosha. Kosha means here, of course, covering. Another example or another translation which is used is sheath. Just like a sword has a sheath, so a covering. Then comes Manomaya Kosha, the covering of the mind. And then comes the Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is so called because it's the covering of the intellect. Intellect again here is something different from the gross body. It is not brain. Intellect, according to Indian philosophy, is not brain. Buddhi, which is supposed to be higher than the mind. So the Buddhi controls the mind. Mind controls prana. Prana controls the gross body. So all the coverings from prana and above control the gross body. The fifth covering of the real nature of a person is Anandamaya Kosha. Anandamaya Kosha. That means the covering of bliss. So this is the covering which is closest to our true nature. So if all these, so this is the most subtle covering. So if all the other coverings are removed, then this covering might remain, and then finally this covering also will go. The funniest part is, or rather the paradoxical part is that we travel from being immersed in the most gross covering, that is the Annamaya Kosha, to the subtlest covering, that is the Anandamaya Kosha. Every day we go through this journey. So when we are awake, particularly when we are hungry, we are closest to Annamaya Kosha. When we are dreaming in sleep, we are immersed in Manomaya Kosha, the sheath or covering of mind. When we are in deep sleep, when we are not even dreaming, which is called Shushupti in Sanskrita, we are in Anandamaya Kosha. So when we wake up, maybe right from the deep sleep state, or after coming into dreaming state and then we wake up, we understand that there was some time in our sleep when we experienced bliss. Now, because there is no other kind of experience, mental or otherwise, and in that state, so we don't know why we experience that bliss. So we say that, okay, that bliss was experienced, and we infer that there was some bliss which was experienced. Now, this experience can happen also when we want something very badly. There is a desire, and the desire is fulfilled. So when the desire is fulfilled, there is a split second where a very small, very short, call it a nano interval if you may, where you don't have any other desire to latch your mind onto. You don't have any other desire where you can fix your mind. So there is a short interval of time where suddenly the mind is free from desires. And that is when the natural blissful state of one's true nature is seen, almost like seeing something through a peephole. So you get a glance, or you get a very short glimpse of what is bliss. And so that is why when somebody desires something and that thing is attained by that person, for a very short interval of time, that person experiences bliss. And this is what is Anandamaya Kosha. Now, the 12th and the 13th sutras discuss this Anandamaya, this word Anandamaya. Now, Anandamaya is basically made out of a word and a suffix. There are prefixes and suffixes, and prefixes and suffixes have their grammatical rules. So this suffix is called pratyaya, and prefix is called upasarga. And pratyaya here, maya, the word maya, it's not a word actually, it's a suffix, and it is called mayat pratyaya. Examples like annamaya, all these koshas, annamaya, pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanamaya, and anandamaya, have a word, and to that is attached this suffix, which is mayat pratyaya. So the suffix called mayat. Now this mayat has a grammatical meaning. It has got an etymological derivation. And so we have to understand what it is. And that is the question here raised in Brahma Sutras. When you say Ananda, because you are saying these are coverings of ignorance, does this Ananda refer to your true nature? If it refers to your true nature, how can that be? Because you are saying it is ignorance. So how can your true nature be ignorance? It cannot be. Your true nature is eternally existing Sat, eternally conscious Chit, and eternally blissful. So ignorance cannot be your true nature. If ignorance is not your true nature, then what is this Anandamaya in Taittiriya Upanishad referring to? That is the question. And also, the context here is, in the Taittiriya Upanishad, there are two places in close proximity where this word Anandamaya is used. In the second chapter, fifth section, first mantra of the Taittiriya Upanishad, we find this usage, Tasmadva etasmad Vijnanamaya Anandayo Antara Atma Anandamaya. So here it is said that Vijnanamayad Anyontara Atma Anandamaya. So that which is different from Vijnanamaya, that Anandamaya Atma. Now here the question is again, this Anandamaya, whether it is same as the Anandamaya which is coming in the same Upanishad, in the second section, second chapter, 8th subsection, 5th mantra. That is, Etam Anandamayam Atmanam Upasankramati. So see, Atma has a covering of Anandamaya, but Atma itself is referred to as Anandamaya. Now the question here is whether this referring to Atma as Anandamaya is also a reference to its covering of ignorance. That is the question. Whether it is covering of ignorance. So this question is analyzed starting from the 12th sutra, which is Anandamayo Abhyasat. Anandamaya Abhyasat. That this Anandamaya word is repeated, and because it is repeated, that is why we can say that the true nature, which is also the cause of this apparent universe, is of the nature of bliss. And so here the question is, what kind of bliss? If you say, no, Anandamaya is not bliss, but it is only covering, then that kind of a objection. So we also know this tradition of commentaries in Indian philosophy, where the writer of a commentary or the author of a commentary, herself or himself, proposes an objection, raises an objection, as though that objection is being raised by the follower of a philosophical school which is different from this person's philosophical school. For example, Shankaracharya, Bhagavadgita Shankaracharya raises an objection as though it is an objection raised by the followers of Sankhya philosophy, as though it is an objection raised by the followers of Mimamsa philosophy. And then Bhagavadgita Shankaracharya Deva proceeds to explain or elaborate upon that objection and finally set aside that objection or reject that objection, saying that this does not conform to the school of philosophy which Bhagavadgita Shankaracharya is trying to establish, that is Advaita Vedanta. So in that tradition here also, in the 13th Sutra, it is told that if one objects, what is the objection? Vikara Shabdat. If one, na iti chet, if one went to say that it is because of Vikara Shabdat, because of it denoting modification. What is denoting modification? That is Anandamaya. Anandamaya, when you say Anandamaya, Jnanamaya. When you say Jnanamaya, it means a person who has knowledge, who is full of knowledge. That means that person can be having less knowledge also. Full of knowledge means there is a possibility of that person having less of knowledge also. So this Vikara Shabda, Maya, can be, that suffix Maya can be taken to mean quantity. So if there is more of knowledge, then obviously the possibility of it becoming less also is possible. So that is why Vikara Shabdat na iti. If one were to say, because Anandamaya word has this Maya suffix, this Mayat Pratyaya or Mayat suffix denotes modification or quantity, and therefore na iti, Atman or your true nature is not of the nature of bliss, if one were to say like that. Chet, if one were to say like that. If, Chet means if. Na, you cannot say like that. Why? Prachuryat. Because here the word Maya, the suffix Maya added to the word Ananda does not mean modification, does not mean quantity. It means something else. Prachuryat. It means abundance. So it is not that we are saying full of or more of Ananda, more of bliss. We are saying abundance of bliss in the sense of infinite bliss. Abundance here we have to take in the meaning of infinite bliss. So the sutra is this: Vikara Shabdat na iti chet na prachuryat. If one were to say that because this word or this suffix mayat denotes quantity or modification, and therefore Atman is not of the nature of bliss, it is not Anandamaya, then that standpoint, that view cannot be accepted, because here Mayat is used in the sense of abundance or in the sense of infinite. Atra aha, here it is being told, in this context it is being told. While we study commentaries of Indian philosophical texts written in Sanskrita, we have to be careful and understand certain figures of speech or certain phrases and expressions used in the commentary. If you are aware and if you familiarize yourself with these phrases, it will be easy for you to study any commentary yourself. Of course, you should know Sanskrita. But even if you know Sanskrita, without understanding these phrases or expressions, it will be difficult for you to understand a commentary on an Indian philosophical text. So, such a phrase is Atra Aha. Atra Aha means in this context, it has been told, or in this context, we are telling. So, this we means who? Here, we is not given, but we have to supply that we.
Who are this we? Here we is the Siddhanta Paksha. Siddhanti. That means the person who is writing the commentary, who belongs to a particular school of philosophy. Here it is Advaita Vedanta. So atra aha. Here it is told, or we are telling, na anandamayaha para atma bhavitum arhati. So here, again, atraha, here it means not the school of philosophy of Shankaracharya, but the school of philosophy of the opponent. So any opponent, let us say it is Sankhya philosophy. We say, if they say, na anandamayaha para atma bhavitum arhati. Anandamaya para atma na bhavitum arhati. The word Anandamaya para atma cannot be na bhavitum arhati. Na bhavitum arhati, it cannot be. It is not possible. It is not plausible. It is not logical. It is not possible that Anandamaya word will denote or could denote or would denote para atma, supreme atman. Kasmat, how? Vikara shabdat, because of the suffix maya or the word anandamaya denoting a kind of modification. A word which is an identifier or an indicator of modification. Here the modification is in the modification of quantity. Prakriti vachanad ayam anyah shabdah vikara vachana samadhigatah anandamayah iti. So here Prakriti vachanad ayam anyah shabdah vikara vachanah samadhigata anandamaya iti. So it is naturally when you see this word or this expression, this is indicating that it is equivalent to vikara vachana, an expression which indicates modification. Here, of course, the modification of quantity. Anandamaya iti. And the expression is Anandamaya. That is full of bliss. Mayataha vikara arthatvat. Because that suffix mayat has the meaning of modification. The suffix mayat has the meaning of modification. Tasma, therefore, annamayadi shabdavat vikara vishaya eva ayam anandamaya shabda iti chet. So the reasoning of the opponent school, who is called as Purva Paksha, that is the preceding school or the opposite school. So the school that is Purva Paksha, opponent school, has this logic that if you see the natural meaning of this word, that is equivalent to a word denoting modification. Therefore, because the suffix mayat has a meaning of modification or vikara. Tasmat, therefore, annamayadi shabdavat, like, what means like, the words starting with annamaya. So here the reference is to other 4 koshas: annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, and vijnanamaya kosha. Annamayadi shabdavat, just like the words annamaya, etc. Vikara vishaya eva anandamaya shabda iti chet. So iti chet, if one were to argue, or if one were to say that just like the words annamaya, pranamaya, manomaya, and vijnanamaya, eva, how they are vikara vishaya, how they denote modification, they denote quantity, there the maya or the suffix mayat denotes quantity. Evam eva ayamananda maya shabda iti chet. In the same manner, this ayam anandamaya shabda. This word anandamaya is also like that. If we were to argue, then we cannot accept that argument. So this is now the Siddhanti is telling. That is, Shankaracharya is telling. The school of thought of Advaita Vedanta is being proposed. So here it is said, na prachurya arthe api mayataha smaranat. So what is Smriti, what is Shruti, we know. Shruti is what has been transmitted through oral tradition, not written tradition. Smriti is what is written by smarana, out of memory. So somebody has written something, that is Smriti, like Ramayana, Mahabharata, etc. Smriti. Purana, Smriti. Then Smriti texts are there. Manu Smriti, these are all law codes. Yagyavalkya Smriti, etc. Shruti are the Vedas. Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda. So here, what is Smriti here? Panini Sutra is Smriti. It is Smriti because it has been written, somebody has thought, Panini Maharishi or Panini has thought, and it has been written. So that is called Panini Sutra. So that is Smriti. So the idea here being that no, we cannot accept that Anandamaya word has been used here to denote modification in quantity, because Prachurya Arthe Api Mayataha Smaranat. Because of the Sutra, Panini Sutra, that is what is Smriti here. The Sutras, they say that the suffix mayata, mayat, can be used in the sense of abundance also. Prachurya, abundance, arthe, in the sense, api, also, mayataha, of the suffix mayat, smaranat, being told in the Smriti, that is Panini Sutra. And what is the Sutra? In the 5th chapter, subsection 4, the Sutra is second Sutra of Panini Sutras, and that is Tat Prakrita Vachane Mayat. Tat Prakrita Vachane Mayat. So, in the sense of the natural meaning, Mayat can be used. So, what is that natural meaning? Itihi, in this manner, Prachuratayam api Mayat smaryate. Prachuratayam, in the sense of abundance, api also, Mayat, the suffix Mayat, smaryate, has been talked of. Yatha, just as Annamayo Yajna. So Yajna, Vedic sacrifice, is full of, or it is Annamaya. So here when the sacrifice is talked of being Annamaya, what it means is iti, like that when it is talked of, what it's meant is Anna Prachura Uchyate. What is meant is not that it is full of food or something. What is meant is there is an abundance of food in that sacrifice. There is an abundance of food in the sacrifice. That is what is meant. So this is what we have to understand. So similarly here also, therefore, what is meant is an abundance that is infinite. So that is why here also, evam, in this manner, here also, Ananda Prachuram Brahmanandamayam Uchyate. Here also, the abundance of bliss, again to be understood as everlasting bliss or infinite bliss, has been Brahmanandamaya Uchyate. It has been told of, it has been expressed as Brahma Anandamaya. That is the blissfulness or being abundant bliss, abundance of bliss, infinite bliss of Brahman. Ananda prachuratvam cha Brahmanah Manushyatvat Arabhya Uttara Asmin Sthane Shataguna Ananda iti yuktva Brahmanandasya Niratishaya Tva Avadharanat. Now again, here the particular context in which this expression Anandamaya has occurred, in that particular place of Taittiriya Upanishad is referred to. So if you go to Taittiriya Upanishad, you will see there is a section called Brahmananda Mimamsa. That is the calculation of the bliss of Brahman. So there the calculation goes like this, that if there is one man who is vigorous, etc., etc., there are so many qualities. And if that one man has got bliss, and there are so many people like that, multiplied so many fold, and that all bliss, and that bliss will become this bliss, and then add it to some other bliss, then it will become the bliss of some other being. Like that it goes, and finally this multifold, like that manifold happiness is what is Brahmananda. Like that the calculation is done in Brahmananda Mimamsa. So that is what is told here. Ananda prachuratvam cha, the abundance of cha, and also the abundance of bliss. Brahmanah manushyatvat arambhya. The abundance of bliss of Brahman. Brahmanah ananda prachuratvam. The abundance of bliss of Brahman, how it is told or expressed in the Upanishad. Manushyatvat arabhya. Starting from the bliss of a human being. Uttara asmin sthane shataguna ananda iti uktva. So the bliss is calculated there at the human level 100-fold, then at some other level 100-fold. So if human level is 100-fold, then it becomes some other bliss, 1 unit of bliss of some other being. Then there is 100-fold of that being's bliss. It becomes 1 unit of some other being's bliss. Like that. So Manushyatvad Arabhya, starting from human beings, the bliss of human beings, Uttara asmin sthane, further and further, that is to subtler and subtler level, Shataguna Ananda ityuktva, telling that it is 100-fold bliss. Ityuktva. Having said so, Brahmanandasya, the bliss of Brahman, Niratishayatva Avadharanat, to make one understand, Avadharanat, by understanding or making one understand the Niratishaya. Niratishaya means unparalleled nature, incomparable nature, unparalleled nature of Brahmananda, of the bliss of Brahman. So what that Upanishad is doing is by telling that this bliss is so big that it is more than thousands folds of 1 unit of bliss of a human being. By telling like that, what the Upanishad is trying to do, what the Shruti is trying to do is give us an understanding of the exemplary nature of this bliss, or unparalleled incomparable nature of this bliss. And so here, Maya word or suffix, sorry, Maya suffix or Anandamaya word does not mean quantity. It means abundance in the sense of infinite. Abundance without any limit. Tasmat, therefore, prachuryarthe mayat. Therefore, this mayat suffix, which is used in the word Anandamaya, should be taken to mean prachurya or abundance, understanding by abundance, infinite. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So all of you, if you have any doubts, you please note it down, and in the next session, that is tomorrow, we can discuss. If you have any questions, please note it down and you can discuss tomorrow. So I hope it was not very, the whole point of this exercise of trying to explain every word of Bhagavad Shankaracharya Deva's commentary on the Brahma Sutras is to dispel, as I told you last week, the misconception that Brahma Sutras is something very tough. Actually, people are all learning artificial intelligence, deep learning, something and all that they are learning. Brahma Sutras does not go anywhere near that in terms of difficulty. And if you can understand mutual funds, which is very difficult to understand, believe me, but you are understanding that, so Brahma Sutra should not be. If you can understand tax, many people cannot, but most people can. So then also Brahma Sutra is. And if you can understand how human relationships works, I don't know if anybody has understood, then again Brahma Sutra is much more easier than that. I mean, very easy. It is actually easy busy. So that's why don't worry about that. And as I said, though the suggested reading will be posted, and also previous videos, it will be helpful if you see them, if you go through them. But it is not necessary to read the suggested reading. If you can, okay. Because unfortunately, the reason why people have got this idea, misconception that Brahma Sutras are tough is probably because the way it has been explained most of the times. It has been explained in such a manner that I think the goal has been that nobody should understand it. So rather, I belong to the tradition of Swami Vivekananda, who wanted that abstruse concepts of philosophy should be understood even by a baby. So in that direction, we are trying. Let's hope that we can attain that purpose or goal. So thank you for spending this much time in understanding this text. So if you have any questions, please note them down, and tomorrow we will start with those questions and then we will proceed further. Namaste. Shubharatri.